Welcome back to a lecture series on digital image processing. In this lecture, we are now going to do the supervised classification. The supervised classification of the different object is the main part of image processing, because many times we work with classifying the objects into various classes. There are two major types, of which one is unsupervised. It means already the set of algorithms which works on classifying the image with automated spectral interval, pixel value interval, reflectance interval. But whereas it will not be true in all the cases, sometimes some of the pixels that will reflect from the vegetation, and sometimes from the tree grass and its reflectance. So there are two things which will react, which will act the same reflectance. There we will have to judge by the human interventions. For that, supervised classification is one being normally employed for the classifying objects. Let us now see the operations of supervised classification. Once if you open ENVI, we are now opening the data sets. Landsat Sundarband multispectral list 3 data for this exercise. Once if you open, the data will come, make it full extent. So after doing full extent, we are now going to do the classification, supervised classification, and you now open the supervised classification. There are many subdivisions are available. Normally we take maximum likelihood classification. There are many things, we will see one by one, of course, how this is being used, but we normally employ the maximum likelihood classification. And you have many classes. If you want to open from the toolbox, open the classification, and region of interest also we will be normally taking for the classification. First job we will have to do the region of interest. So classification from the region which we will have to employ ROI, region of interest. So new vector layer and new region of interest. So to classify the image, so we have selected from the file drop down menu, and that region of interest will come here. Now we have to digitize the region of interest with respect to various features, and you can zoom it to the maximum level where you want to digitize first, and take the water body and then do. Once if you maximize the region of interest, new region of interest, and then in the new region of interest we will have to type, otherwise we can use these tools to digitize. First tool I have taken and I am digitizing, and right click, complete and accept polygon. And similarly I move to the different portions, and now I am selecting the object. So this object is a water body, this object is a water body, this object is a water body. I am selecting the water body, and I am now changing the color, customs into different color, adding the color into it, and then normally it will not accept. You will have to add the color into the color box. So give, that you have to select here, and then it will not come, and I have to redo again by selecting the same color. And here custom colors I have to select the color solid, add to custom colors. Okay, now it has come, now it is changed. And similarly I have to select moving by I am giving the ROI name as water. So this area is our water body. So now I am just selecting different, I am moving to the entire region, and I am digitizing. to give training to the system says that these pixel values are all water bodies. For that, I'm just moving here and there and then take all the informations, and this is one area, and you see you can take, you have many options to select, and then you take this is this area you take, and then digitize, right click, accept complete polygon, zoom it to next area on the top, and then select this area, and this is also select, and then complete, right click, complete, and accept polygon, and you see you go and then zoom it to all the places, and then see that you are selecting. You can use the different tool, like you can take rectangular, you can take a circle, accept ellipse, and then take a square, and then make a square, right click, accept rectangle. Like that, we can take any of the tool in the geometry to digitize our, so that what will happen, it will not miss. The classification will be a very accuracy of selecting the training the system to classify these pixel values into various classes. So this is how we do normally. For we have to take a number of training data sets, so that accuracy part will improve. That's why we take here normally more point, moving all the places around the investigation area, and then give the training, and then give as a water. And already we have created 2 3 ROI. We can select every ROI and change the object. So now its water is part is over. We will take the second region of interest, a minute. So this portion is over. You have to take as many as sample test point. It means the system gets trained well. So it will take all the crystal values in the program, and then based on this it will classify the image into water body. But normally, if you are doing with the supervised classification, so this is for the practical purposes. We have trained the students by taking minimum test points, but we have to take large number of test points. So I am taking the other new ROI. Here I am just renaming forest. So now I am going to give training to the system that you take this pixel value for classifying forest. Zoom it to the maximum level. You try to zoom it to the maximum, then only you will get accurate result. Accept rectangle, and try to give as many as for a single class minimum. Suppose if your study area is very if your study area is maybe 200 kilometers, give 100 test site. If your study area is 2000, give 200 or 300 test site, because randomly you have to select and cover the entire portions. That is, even for the registration, we advise the students to take all the points as much, not with only 3, and then take even in between the what is that zone. Similarly, here for the training sets, we advise the students to take as many as training sets, so that the average, it will not miss not even a single pixel to classify into a water body or a region or a agriculture region. So as many as you just zoom it to the maximum. That is the another advice for the students. You have to zoom it to the maximum level, and then do digitize by taking the geometry tool. Any tool you take, eclipse, and then rectangle, everything you can select, and then do digitize and give the training to the system that these are all the forest land. Take the another new ROI, so that you just give agriculture land or agri land, give the other interesting colors on your own interest. So I am now digitizing these portions, giving eclipse and saying that these are all agriculture land. Once we do, research, we have to take the base map at the base and swipe and check whether this is really a agriculture land or not. If you have regular shape and the pattern decides the agriculture practice in that particular area. Now we have done by taking water sample zone, and then agriculture, given training in the agriculture zone as well as the forest zone. So three zones we have given the training to the system, says that these are all the regions to classify based on this pixel into the other pixels, or group this type of pixel into a class like water body, forest and vegetation, agriculture land. And you can save us, or already we have done, we have saved the region of interest in the layer manager too. If you want, you can classify, give more objects, and then name it the other objects, and then you can classify. That depends on our interest to classify. Suppose if I know barren rock exposure, pediment bajara zone, if I am more familiar with the morphological the nature of the satellite images, or you take these three, save ROI to XML file. So I am just saving the output file as class classification underscore ROI, open, and OK. So the data is now saved. After saving the data, takes few seconds to save, and now you can now it's the work for giving the training set to the system is over. This is step 1 in supervised classification. Once if this is over, then we have to go to supervised classification. There we have to select maximum likelihood classification. Maximum likelihood classification. There I have to select the data. So it is list 3 Sundarban MS data I am selecting. So you have to select maximum likelihood classification. Select the data as lands list 3 Sundarban, give OK. So automatically now it takes the region of interest test site samples and classify. Here now we have to select all the items, choose your region of interest classification. Sorry, you are giving your output file as supervised classification data, and output range you don't need to, output rule images you don't need to specify, give no. You can preview or you can give OK to. Now the system is running to classify the maximum likelihood classifier, and look at that, it is done. The classification of the image is done, but it is not exactly accurate. There are few more steps to be done post classification accuracy in the subsequent. You see, zoom and then check. Not all pixels are classified. Some of the agriculture land is coming in between forest. It will not come. So there you are now going for post classification accuracy. We will do the post classification accuracy. You just zoom in, zoom out, check in, check out, then fit with the images, and then zoom it and find out the differences in the agriculture land. You just give agriculture. You see in between forest is there. In between forest won't come. Similarly, in between forest agri won't come. So there are small editing corrections we have to do, that we will do in the subsequent section. So this is how supervised classification of stage 1 or giving creating the or training stage for the computer to classify the image into various groups is done. We have done with three. One is on water body, one is on forest land, the other one is agriculture land. This is the agriculture land. In between, there is a color called violet. It is not classified. We have given that it is also agriculture land. In between, there is a river that is also classified as a forest body. So those corrections we have to do, that is there in the post classification accuracy assessment. We will do in the subsequent sections. With this, the classification of training stage, given the supervised classification training stage is over, you can remove the layers and then save the file if you want. Otherwise, you can call back from the file. Zoom it and check in between forest there are agricultural land. So these corrections we will do in the coming sections. This the supervised classification first exercise is over. Thank you very much.